Good morning! UCU, I'll pay attention!
Would you like some information about this week?
Would you like a leaflet from me on better? Don't get it from here, I'll put the fire information! These leaflets will help keep you dry!
Information about this week?
UCU, I'll pay attention!
I should have gone down. Simulation.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm here with UEA TV and we're going to be reporting on the strikes today. We previously have a video about the strikes before Christmas, so go check that out on our YouTube channel. And today we're going to be finding out the difference between what went on before Christmas and what's going to happen now. Hello, I'm here with Ben Jones. And Ben, can you explain to us why you're on strike today?
Yes, certainly. We're on strike over the pensions issue, but we're also on strike over other issues to do with pay and conditions at the university. And that's something that's changed since the last disputes. So we've been out on pensions now for 26 days. This is now the fourth day that we're out on pay and conditions. And we're looking really to tackle issues around inequalities. So the gender pay gap here at UEA is about 25%. We're looking to tackle the ethnicity pay gap. We have huge problems with workload, so very regularly people are working 60, 70 hours a week and are getting unwell because of that. And we're also kind of basically looking to increase our pay, which has declined in real terms over the past 15 years or so.
And what's changed between the strikes before Christmas and these strikes?
Well, what's changed is that we're now out over pay and conditions, and in fact we've been having very positive talks with David Richardson, the Vice Chancellor, who's been very keen, I think, to work with us to tackle issues like workload, to put people on secure contracts. So many people are on 0 hours contracts or on temporary contracts going from kind of month to month, year to year, often over very many years, and that causes an enormous amount of stress. So we're quite confident that we can work with the institution. The university has been making very positive kind of noises in that direction, but we really do need to see some movement on the issue, on the headline issue of pay. And also we really need to settle this pensions dispute, which has been going on for a long time.
And at what point will you know whether the strikes have been a success?
Well, I think we can see that they're being successful. We've got more than 70 people on the picket lines out today. We've had quite a lot of really good conversations with people, lots of support from our students, which has been fantastic. And I think that really the vast majority of our students can really see the kind of work that support staff, that library staff, that people in IT, that their lecturers do for them, and that really, I think there's a strong kind of recognition that what we're asking for is not a huge amount, and if we can just see a little bit of movement on these issues, I'm sure we can come to a settlement.
Okay. And do you have anything to say to the students that have been affected by the strikes?
Yes, yeah, indeed. I mean, we deeply regret this. We don't want to be in this position. We understand that we have taken quite a few days of action, but I think that there is quite a lot of student support. And I think that as students and staff together, we should be able to come to some kind of resolution, and hopefully, we can get back to doing, what we do best, which is supporting students, which is doing research, and which is teaching.
Good morning. Would you like some information about this week?
I'm here with Chris Jones. And so, Chris, why are you decided to be out here on the strike lines today?
I'm striking because I believe passionately in collective action, and that we can achieve better things through working together, and I believe strike action is the way that you achieve that. I'm striking because, particularly for early career staff, academia can be very tough, it can be very trying, it can be very insecure. I'm striking because I also believe that it's setting an example for students in future if they want to go into professions that serve the public good in some way, that sometimes you have to take collective action to make that sustainable and to make it a desirable career. Yeah, I think that's it.
And has anything changed for you or the UCU in general between the previous strike and this strike?
Yeah, so nothing's particularly changed in terms of why I'm striking. I'm really happy that we managed to pass the threshold for the pay ballot and working conditions. I really believe that we ought to be, as an institution and as a sector, working towards, in higher education, closing the gender pay gap. I think that's really important, and I think it's important that we stand up to do that, and also pay gaps for BAME colleagues as well, and to ensure that younger colleagues can go into the profession of working as lecturers or other academic related staff.
Okay. And do you have anything to say to the students who've been affected by the strikes?
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I know it's really unfortunate that students have been affected by the strikes, and I always say to my students that I teach that I'm sorry that it has affected their learning experience. As I say, I think it's also a learning opportunity in some ways, that teaching can extend beyond the classroom, and that you're teaching people to stand up for the things that they believe in, and I think that's really important. And I would also say that I do really greatly thank students for their support. It's been very heartening and very warming to receive that. It's very cold and wet out here at times, and to have that support makes you feel like, you know, you're doing the right thing and that people understand. And I would also say to students that I do care deeply about the student experience. I do things around mental health and well-being, and so it isn't a light decision that I take when I come out to strike, because I don't want to lessen any student's experience, but such is the sort of gravity of what we're striking about that I feel it's necessary.
So I'm here with Emily, and I'm just going to ask you, so why have you chosen to be out here on the picket lines today?
I'm angry about the conditions that our lecturers and university staff are facing. For example, there is a 28.3% gender pay gap at UEA that they keep very quiet. There's also a discrepancy between the amount of pay disabled lecturers get, and people that don't declare their disabilities will be paid higher. And it's just nice to support your lecturers and to make a stand against what's wrong, you know.
And have the strikes directly affected you?
Yes, they have. I did my undergraduate here as well, so quite a lot of my teaching time has been lost to them, but you know, it's not anger at the lecturers, it's anger at the institutions making them go on strike.
We've been down on the roundabout interviewing different lecturers and those on strike. We're now heading up to Erlen Park to see who's up there and why they're on strike. Come with me. And what's changed between now and your previous strikes before Christmas?
I was actually on leave before Christmas, so I didn't take part in the strikes. I mean, I came along to the picket line, but I wasn't here. I was here 2 years ago for the strikes for pensions. And when you say what's changed, what do you mean in terms of?
So before Christmas, you'd only were striking on certain issues, and you're now striking on more issues.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ballot before Christmas to strike on all the issues we're striking on now, but we failed to reach the required turnout by one vote. So we reballoted, which is within the legislation, and we achieved the required turnout. So we're able to strike on the 4 additional issues now as well. So that's the change, is that we achieved the turnout on the reballot vote. And I think those 4 issues are really important, not just for staff who are working within the university system now, but for students in the future who may do PhDs and may want to work within higher education. I think there is a real pressure downwards on wages, particularly entry-level positions at very low end of the pay scale. A lot of PhD students are having to, or recently qualified PhD students are having to take short-term contracts, teach at multiple universities. It's extremely stressful, and I don't think it enables us to, as I say, deliver the kind of world-class education that the university wants to deliver.
Okay. And have you got anything to say to any of the students who have been affected by the strikes?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to affect the students. I mean, I think I spoke to a lot of students before I came on strike, and I said to them, and I meant it, and I think speak to 90% of the staff at UEA, and you'll find that the thing that they love about working in a university is teaching students. So we don't want to have a negative effect on the students' experience, or indeed on their ability to learn here. But I do think the issues that are being discussed and being brought to the surface by this action are crucial to the future of the higher education system and how we're able to continue to support students and provide the kind of experience that students are looking for when they come to university. So I'm sorry that students are affected, but I think I've thought about it long and hard. I think this is the right thing to do.
Another reason we're all here is that we're just completely submerged in workloads. It's just completely unrealistic, and people just don't have family lives. They're here early, they go home late, they work at weekends. My daughter's now 18 in a couple of months, so I feel that I've missed a lot of her life because of the time I put into here. So I think that needs to be recognised and something done about that. Yeah.
And if there's anything you'd like to say to the students who are being affected by the strikes?
Yeah, we're really sorry that you're not getting the education that you work hard for, that you pay for, that you've struggled to come here for, and that you're interested in getting. And we'd really love to be there with you. So we're really sorry that you're missing out on that, and we hope that the university can take responsibility and make sure that they do their part. They're responsible for putting us in a respectable and human way in front of you so we can work with you and get your education.
And do you have anything to say to the students who've been affected by the strikes?
Well, it's very, very regrettable. We are not striking against the students. And I like to think we've done everything we reasonably can to ensure that your education isn't too adversely affected by that. Of course, if you withdraw your labour, then the teaching doesn't happen, and there's no way around that. But our dispute is not with you, not with the students. It's very much with university management, and the university management have been tending to use our commitment to the students as a way of, well, almost kind of like blackmailing us into not striking, or doing everything we possibly can to sort of make our own action ineffective. So it's a difficult one, but you can only really cave into that sort of I'll use the word blackmail to a certain extent. Beyond a certain point you have to say, well, no, we're not prepared to put up with this any longer.